Welcome to mini class number 9, part of our free mini series, where we're showing you what the 24 life ingredients are all about and how to use them so that you can create the kind of life that you want. The topic of today's class is how to bring about lasting change in a way that's fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine a lot of the things we've learned in all the other classes to show you how to use them in any area of your life. So what we'll do is an exercise that's, so again, physical, spiritual, body, mind, because it's the combination of our thoughts and how we incorporate them into our feelings, into our physical feelings, that cause the change in our lives. So we'll get right into the exercise in a moment. To give you an overview first, what we're going to do is we're going to do some breathing, and I'll walk you through that. And then as we're breathing, I'm going to talk through all the different steps of the 24 life ingredients to give you an idea of what you can do on your own regularly in any area of your life where you're looking to create change. Okay, so let's get started. So first, a nice deep breath in. And we're breathing in through all of our pores. We're taking in all that energy that's there for us from the universe. And then as we're breathing out, then we're breathing out everything that we don't need, all the exhausted energy, all the stuff from yesterday, all the stuff that from a few minutes ago, what was new is now leaving because we're making room for the new. And you're going to breathe at your own pace. Don't try to match what I'm doing. Just breathe, just make sure that you're comfortable in your skin doing what you're doing. So you're breathing in at your own pace and then you're breathing out just so you feel relaxed. Now, remember that the next part to feeling relaxed, recall what that was, is where we consider that everything is perfect as it is. Because in the moment we let go of all the this is wrong and that's wrong and that needs to change, I'm late for this and I got to get on to that and that should be done. All we do is create stress for ourselves. And when we bring stress into our bodies, we bring tension. When we bring tension, we bring illness. So all what we're looking for here is just everything's perfect as it is. I'm exactly where I need to be right now. I'm going to spend the time I need right now because this is good for me. This is bringing me into alignment with that I can hear the universe, that we can communicate with each other so that the universe, that I can provide clear, strong feeling about what I want in life, and the universe can deliver for that. And I'm not missing any of the signs. I'm hearing the song. I'm seeing the birds. I'm paying attention to why that fly is so distracting at the moment. All that is like the universe has so many ways to communicate with us. And if we're in a state of peace, state of calm, then we're not chasing away all these signals. We're not so focused on, well, it has to be like this, that we can actually absorb what's right there in front of us. And we can learn from that, learn from the universe, learn from life, so that we can create the kind of life that we want, not alone, but with the help of the most powerful ally we have, the universe. So as we're breathing in, and we're breathing out, and we've got this feeling of everything is perfect as it is. So we'll start with a couple of questions for you to consider. Which area of your life would you like to change the most? So as you're breathing, and just think about that, what area have you been trying to change in your life? And how often have you tried to change that? Is it something that keeps recurring every few months or years, and you find yourself coming back to those same things that you want to change in your life? It might be relationships, it might be money, it might be weight, it might be fitness, it might be health. It could be anything. It could be a combination of them. And so as we best close your eyes, but you want to be fully awake, fully aware, and breathe, and in that state of calm, always return to that everything is perfect as it is, even as we think through some of these things that might be stressors for us, such as all those changes we want to make. Consider that this is the very first micro experience in the changes that you're creating. Just be in the feeling that in this exercise that we're doing, that you're creating the feeling of, that change is already here. You don't even worry about whether the change is coming. Just know the change is already here. And you know that to be true because in the moment that you can bring yourself into that state of calm, into that state of peace, that you're bringing that feeling of that you can feel the change, you can feel that you're more fit, that you're in the work you want to be doing, that it's there already. If you're feeling that it's coming, then you'll always be creating a state of waiting. But by creating that first micro experience of a feeling that leans towards that you're already there or already on the way there, then you can build on that. And keep in mind that we're constantly looking for rapid change. Rapid change just means that I don't respect the journey. I don't want to have something to look back on that I went from here to there, and not just in 10 seconds, but over a period of, if it takes, like for example, I lost, something like 25, 26 kilos, okay, so 50, 60 pounds, something like that. But I did it over a period of a year, and now it's a lasting change because all the new habits that I have are all on autopilot now. When I get up in the morning, I really don't want to miss my exercise routine. And even my exercise routine, even today, isn't carved in stone. I do a lot of the similar things, but I'm constantly changing it up to keep it that it feels like fun. Because one basic rule I have in life is if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go through my life like I've heard so many coaches talk about, where they say, well, you got to really put the effort into it, and you got to force yourself into this, and you got to do this, and if you make 60% of your life just tough and be tough on yourself, or even 80%, then you're going to have 20% of your life you're going to really enjoy. That's absolute nonsense. Every minute of my life is for enjoying, whether I'm asleep, enjoying a good night's rest, or whether I'm awake, or whether I'm thinking about getting up, or whether I'm doing my exercise, or enjoying breakfast, or whatever I'm doing. It has to be fun. And the way I know that since I create my life, I can create if my life is fun or not. So if your life's not fun, we only have ourselves to blame for that. So, and I wouldn't spend a lot of time on blame. I would say this is perfect as it is, and be in that feeling of being relaxed, knowing that my next micro experience I'm creating is, all right, what's the first step to making every step of my life fun? Because I know when I do that, I bring good health to myself, I bring good energy, I attract even better energy with energetic people around me. And so why would I do anything else but feel the life that I want? If I feel spiritually the life that I want to have physically, then I'm already there. It's already mine. But if I can't feel that, then I can't have it either. Because when I can't feel it, I don't believe it. If I don't believe it, then what I'm getting is what I do believe. What I do is always checking back to that. Am I relaxed? Am I feeling comfortable? Am I feeling it? Am I feeling what it is that I want? Like even when I got to doing this set of videos of miniseries, I thought often about I should just forget all the marketing, forget all that hype and nonsense. That's not what people are looking for. Just give them real content, let them make real change in their life. I've got coaching classes. People come to me, they appreciate what's here. And in all these free lessons, these free classes, there's more than enough information to get people to start making good changes. If you take seriously what's in all these videos and you keep going back to it, make that your regular TV. Make these videos your go-to when you have a bit of time, and you'll constantly make changes in your life that are meaningful. And if you find yourself getting stuck, send me a note. Or if you're into it, get some coaching like I do, 3-6 months coaching, so that people can really get into making the changes they want in their life. But back to the point of what we're doing here is we're relaxed, we're breathing. This is becoming a regular part of our life to always come back to that, not just now, not just for these exercises. Like the mistake people make with meditation is they say, okay, so now I'm going to block out 15 minutes or half an hour or an hour for meditation. It doesn't work like that. If we start to learn how to bring ourselves into awareness of our breathing, awareness of how we feel, and if we're feeling stressed, automatically, what am I looking at that's wrong? What am I looking at that I think it needs to change? What am I looking at that is not perfect? And change that to everything's perfect as it is. and you bring that instant level of peace back. And from that level of peace, now we start to move forward again. How do I feel about my future? And because if I ask that question, so now let's refresh the exercise. Let's go from the beginning again. Nice deep breath through all our pores. Breathe out anything that's stressful. And then start to think about, so what have I been wanting to change in my life? And how often have I been trying to change that? And then we'll realize that, as we talked about in the other one of the other classes about our subconscious, is you'll see that that pattern of trying to change and then not succeeding and trying to change and not succeeding is part of our subconscious habit. It's an autopilot. It's a thing we do. So how do we reprogram that autopilot? Well, any reprogram comes from, remember the blue disc and the red disc? Well, when we have this conscious idea that we want to change, but then the blue disc says, well, you're not going to go that far away from here because you're going to stay in this realm. So we have to kind of convince our subconscious that this is okay for us to wander a little bit out there. And so we start with one micro experience after the other. And as our subconscious becomes comfortable with, okay, well, I survived that, I overlived that works, this actually feels good, then we start to make that a habit, becomes part of our habit. Autopilot is interchangeable. So if we're thinking about, so we want to make this change, and you're right, you're thinking about the change you want to make in life, and then you're thinking about how most likely you went at it too aggressively. It just had to happen now. You put a day, a month, a week, year, whatever into it, and then after a while you just gave up because it just wasn't fun. It wasn't something that you could make a habit because it was just too stressful. So now what we want to do is recreate. So let's start over with the change that you want to make. And over the next months and years, just consider that this is one of the macro is starting this journey and at some point accomplishing what it is that you want in a way that it's going to be there permanently for you. It's going to be a change that lasts for you. And to do that, so we're going to start with the first steps of that walk up the mountain. We're going to start with those first micro experiences. What's the first step that we can make fun? So for example, if we're trying to get in better shape, maybe lose a belly or whatever we're trying to, then the first step would be, okay, let's do one sit-up or a half of a sit-up. And maybe not even a sit-up, maybe just a crunch, just because sit-ups can be rough on your back because they're going to, if you keep the back, the lower part of your back flat on the ground and just bring your shoulders up, just start with that and do one. Or just crouch down. Like if you, for example, like for older people where they're getting dizzy when they get up, or when they, or for younger people when you're just not feeling the level of fitness that you want to have. And so start with something basic. Think about what are the things you do every day in life. And then we come to another important aspect of this. As you're breathing, as you're relaxed, and as you're feeling the change that you want to make, connect to why you want to make the change. Because when we can think for a moment, why do you want to make that change? And if you don't have some very specific ideas, like because it feels better or because I'll look good or all that, are very fluffy reasons. They're not, remember we talked about the parking garage and we talked about observation, natural thought process. And so basically when we want to, like any of the changes that you're trying to make, consider that what level you're at. In that, are you at the first level or on the way to the first level? Like you have an idea, you want to do this, but you've got a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of motivation. And that's probably why you keep going back to trying and then failing and then trying again and failing, is because you haven't used the natural thought process to increase the level of your inspiration. So the more that you observe about why you want to do something, either the greater your inspiration becomes to do it or the weaker it becomes, and then you move on to something else. But if you're finding, like by enough observation, You're going to find why you want to do what you want to do. Now you're going to be in the space where you're going to be able to make this fun and lasting. That why, you've heard that a million times. Well, what's your why? Well, here's how you find it. Natural thought process. Observe and observe and observe more. Observe old things in new ways. Observe new things. Observe what other people are doing. Observe what's working. Observe where you want to get to. Observe, see the results, and then start to feel what that'll be like. And when you look in the mirror, if you're trying to lose weight, don't look at what's left to do. Look at the progress you're making. You know, when you're starting off with a belly and you don't have any form of six-pack, well, all of a sudden, you know, when you start to see that all starting to come together, then if you're focusing on what's working rather than on what hasn't worked yet, then you're a lot farther ahead. Same thing with if you're trying to learn a language or sing or dance, focus on what's working, what's the improvements you've made. Because in focusing on the improvements you made, when you're appreciative, when you're feeling good, however micro they may be, remember, these are micro experiences, so the improvements are going to be micro. But one micro experience after the next creates that macro experience. There is no other way to create the macro experience. There is no way to jump over that and then just be there. You would have skipped over the whole journey. So the bottom line of these exercises is, as you sit back and as you breathe and as you realize that you might be at the very beginning of your journey, respect the journey. Know the journey is going to be fun because you're going to create a fun journey. And the universe is going to guide you exactly how to do that because you're observing something, you're feeling it, and through your feelings, you're guiding the universe to give you exactly what you need. So keep going back through the videos, keep doing the exercises, make the breathing and the return to everything is perfect as it is as a regular part of your life. You'll be doing yourself the biggest favors. And if you have doubts or questions about that, or you're just not feeling that that's the truth because you've got such a background of having been trained lifelong by business, religion, education, that it's not like that, then talk to me, send me a note, tell me where you're stuck, have a conversation, we can go through that. And you'll see that what life teaches us, remember what we talked about in that class regarding everything being perfect as it is, and then the ability to sleep, and we can't sleep when we aren't relaxed. Well, life teaches us all these things. Everything in this entire mini-series is about what life teaches us. It's not, you don't have to take my word for it. You just take what I'm suggesting, try it out for yourself, try it sincerely, try it fully in the right way it's intended, and you'll discover for yourself that this is exactly what life brings us. So I hope you're getting good value from these. Get in contact with us. Make sure, if you'd like to get on the email list, make sure that you get your email. In the meantime, enjoy the videos, John Verway 2020, and I look forward to meeting you. All the best.